Recording. Today I just did some canvassing for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, hoping that some flyers I put out on the telephone poles would help to elicit some funding for the Heart and Stroke Foundation that's doing a great job helping people when they have heart attacks. My husband had a heart attack, well, he had a stroke, actually, and what happened was the symptoms, the signs were there a day, like the day of. He was starting to slur his speech. And I said, you sound drunk, I think you're having a stroke, because I knew that was one of the warning signs. So we called immediately to the hospital, and they took him in. But I don't know if he was presenting at the time with stroke, but the unfortunate part is that they sent him home again. And the warning signs were there, obviously, but so he's had two strokes, and I also have a family history problems in the heart department. So it's always a situation where I feel I can help, I will help, and I don't know if anyone wants to help me gather funds to send to the Heart Stroke Foundation, but I think I need a better routine today. It's really hard to elicit funds. Everyone's broke, supposedly, or it's so what we can do is other ways, like make a lot of money with pennies and nickels, quarters, and dimes, and they don't have many pennies anymore because they're not producing pennies, but you know what I mean. Copper is probably more expensive than most quarters. I don't know. There could be other ways of making money. You just have to think about that and be more creative in the processing and offer prizes and fun things. Because that's always a way of getting, because it's really boring in the winter sometimes, in the middle of winter, when things are kind of slow and they're either home or they're not home. And I don't know if it's illegal to actually go door to door anymore, so I'm not doing that. I'm just posting flyers here, there, and everywhere to get the word out there that now is active campaign for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and in March will be for the Easter Seals. And we've done that before, and I've volunteered many times before. I've been an active volunteer. I haven't done it for years because I've been pretty busy looking after Leonard, my husband, who's pretty well bedridden. He's waiting for a scooter, and it doesn't seem to come. And we're just hoping that eventually this will happen, and because it's really not good for him not to be immobilized. He needs to get his blood going. He got downstairs yesterday with help. But he needs a scooter. The scooter doesn't work anymore, and it's the only thing he can use to feel safe on, for his legs have had something like 39 operations for post-polio and stuff like that. So I'm really requesting, help for him and people who have stroke and who have had heart problems. They're getting the care, but there's more needs to be done, like programs that can keep them active. Visits, house visits, and things like that. And that is kind of a hidden disability, the heart problem. Not everyone knows they have a heart condition until it's too late. And I think actively checking blood pressure, which I think wasn't done for my husband, but that's why he had that problem, because his medicine was off, and he needed to have that assessed more frequently with people who have that need to be assessed for the potential for any kind of heart problem, or and heart and stroke go together. It's all the vascular system. So we need to really help people and help the doctors and nurses and people who are helping on the front line. And the medicine needs to be much improved. But it's pretty good, some of it, but it's just I don't know why he had the stroke. The medicine was off, his urine was off. Some things happen, and you have to, like the symptoms need to, like for example, his urine was dark. That needed to be examined. Why? There's something with the medicine not working. So that sort of thing. So that's hard to do because it's so hard. We can't take a taxi anymore because they won't let scooters on board the taxi. This is a big problem for all people who have disability. They need physiotherapy so they don't freeze up, their muscles freeze. So I've seen a lot of people who wouldn't have that problem, wouldn't be so disabled if they had active physiotherapists coming into their house, programs that would help them, and visits friendly visits, because that's really important to stay social. When a person is ill, people tend to flee. They don't want to come around. And our family's been very good and has helped us, our immediate family. Not the primary family, but the family, secondary family, I guess you'd call it. It has been very helpful, but it's been difficult for me. There's been times when, I get very lonely because I don't have a lot of people I can, call up. But sometimes you can call up people with agencies. They need more friendly visits, as I said, that would help. Or people online, like you call these agencies, but they just refer you to other agencies, and they refer you to other agencies, and so on and so forth. But you don't really get the actual one-on-one help unless you go, and it's a long process. So if there's just someone who can be a friendly visit on a phone for shut-ins, that is a godsend. Like, there are religious groups that could do this. You could, be more active in putting that out there, because those numbers aren't readily available for people who are in distress situations, and that needs to be done. I think that the heart and stroke, the research that they're doing needs to concentrate on the, well, there's new technologies, of course, but I think with the idea of the life force in the heart and the energies around the heart, the electrical system in the heart, and the way the body, as it ages, becomes the telomerase. Telomerase is a new thing they talk about, the DNA thing. It's like a shoelace. At the end of the DNA, it starts to unravel, and then a person ages. Well, that causes all the whole host of problems, like the heart, the number one killer in Canada. So if we can understand that life force energy and try to sustain it and keep it systemic, and I was thinking of the molecules that help do that. We have rapeseed oil, which is very healthy for the heart because it has coenzyme Q10 in it, and then there is, again, telomerase. There are natural substances in this that we need to check into. I don't like the idea of drugs with side effects, which all drugs do have, and as a person ages and their heart, they become really requiring them to function, and then they can't take other medicines because of the interference with other medicines. So it's really good if a person can have prophylactic care where they have no need for the drug in the first place. So if they take care of their heart and their vascular system, if they find cures for genetic diseases with vascular problems that can be easily remedied now with, if necessary, with the stem cell research. Not necessarily using fetuses, for sure, not using fetuses, but using a person's own stem cells, their primary mother cell soul energy cells that are in the body that are probably around the solar plexus areas. There's probably ganglia that maintain this function for the liveliness of cell production, which is probably not understood fully, or else we would probably have the cure for death, which one day we may have, and perhaps some hidden underground vault might have this already, but not given to the populace because we're overproducing ourselves. I don't think so. The problem is that the issue is, there is some places where there is overpopulation because they're having 10, 12, 30 kids, Well, that's ridiculous, that many children. But again, there's so many empty, vacant spaces in the world that can help. And I think we're just not using our creative intuitiveness and to go off planet. That may be one way of doing it, but certainly there's all kinds of things that we could do besides that. We should be really utilizing Earth properly and looking at the idea of why not siphon the waters, if they should come up high enough, into the desert areas and create a huge lake to siphon the ocean waters in should the water levels rise due to global warming. I mean, the world has been a lot warmer before. Again, we only had a small part of Michigan in the Devonian age that was, everything else was underwater. But the issue is we grew out of that water. We've come from that water. So it's part of our DNA. And I'm sure that we would adapt if we had to, but we have to be smart enough to know how. And we should prepare now for that sort of thing. And like the heart disease, we should prepare for the concept of what is really going on with the heart and the issue of life and the beat, the heartbeat of life, the energy of life, and what that is, and how to protect it and create a harmony for it. Because now we have all the microwave energies that are probably causing a host of heart problems, and now they want 5G, which is going to be too much microwave for the human anatomy. And it would be, the microwave technology, again, could be used against humanity. And who knows with Agenda 21 and all this sort of thing, if it is being used. And what say do we have as a humanity towards our destruction? It doesn't seem like we have any say in our life or death. And really, we should have a say as to what we want and what we desire. And that should be for humanity to live happy, healthy, wealthy, harmoniously with everyone, and there's no need not to have those three needs met. Those are basic needs, and health, wealth, and happiness. We need to promote that for all people and continue on in the vein of being a healthy vein, healthy heart, healthy mind, and the vascular system. And I found it interesting, the Circle of Willis. Try to look that up in your Funkenwagnalls. That's an interesting aspect of how we are really coming from the singularity into a multiplex reality. But basically, our singularity is that heartbeat, that energy, that beating pulse of our sun is the same thing as our heart. And understanding the nature of nature and deep psychology, deep science, getting to the root of our life and consciousness and what it is, really will help us in our health overall, because these questions haven't been answered, and we need answers. That's all I have to say for today, and please donate to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Thank you very much. Jane Jones.